Hello everybody, this is Peter Beckenham, the Village Marketer. What I want to share with you today is communicate, not complicate. I want to share with you 6 communication tips today. 6, right? The idea really is to stop you from complicating any conversations, because if you complicate conversations, if it's with your partner or with your business associates or with your customers, it normally ends up in a disaster, right? So I want to share with you today, and I know many of you have heard communication until it drives you crazy. Well, I want to share some things today that maybe you haven't heard before. There you are. It's a bit of a promise, all right? Okay, first of all, 2 things. Kiss and kill, right? Now, you've heard of both of them, I guess. Kiss. Keep it short and simple, right? This is talking about conversations, which is the crux of communication. Keep it short and simple. Or as I was originally taught, keep it short and keep it simple, stupid, right? The other one is kill, right? Is keep it long and lengthy. That is a definite way to kill any conversation you have. That's a definite way to actually destroy any communication you've got. And the point is this: your ability to communicate, right, is the key to your success. It truly is the key to your success in both life and in business. And there's 4 bits to that you must take into consideration. The first one is honesty, okay? Be who the heck you are, okay? Don't pretend to be anybody else than yourself. Just be you, all right? Secondly, when you're being honest, if you don't know, then tell them you don't know, right? Don't fake it. Secondly, authenticity, okay? Again, a little bit like, don't pretend to be what you're not. But more important than this, and this comes to me because just yesterday I was speaking with 2 of my clients, all right? And they're both reserved and shy. And they get caught when they're in messaging with people, for example, on Facebook, all right? Because they know they'd like to have people as a customer, but they're shy and they're conservative and they're reserved, and they don't want to feel aggressive, and they don't know how to get the person to talk to them or even open up a conversation, okay? Be authentic, okay? This is what I told them, and if you're in that situation, try this. Is there a new message, for example? Hey, Tom, look, this is really a bit of a battle for me because I'm shy. Or I'm really having a bit of a struggle with this because I'm very reserved. I'm not sure how to go about asking you. But would you mind sharing with me a little bit about what you do? Okay? So what have you done? You've been honest with them. You've been open with them. You've been transparent with them. You've been vulnerable with them. I can tell you they won't get very many messages like that, okay? And they will give you the information you wanted. So there you go, authenticity, right? And of course, the next one is integrity. Integrity means if you say you're going to do something, well, damn, we'll do it. That's as simple as I can make it, right? The last one is love. Now, I'm not talking about emotional love, although when we're talking about relationships and communication, that could definitely be the case. But what I'm really referring to is showing people that you truly, really care, that you understand, and you show empathy with them, okay? That's what I'm talking about. So that's the start of today's session, all right? I've got the 6 tips coming for you right now. That was just the introduction, right? So I hope you can stick with me. As I said earlier, my name is Peter Beckett. I'm the Village Marketer, and I said it up front because I wasn't sure how long I was going to be online. I'm the guy who helps you sell your stuff, right? And as always, talking to you from my little Thai village, way up near the Cambodian border. The first communication tip is one you've all heard before, but I want to get you to listen to it again because that's what it is. Listen, right? Truly listen. You can't communicate if you don't listen, okay? And this is the point. I don't know about you, but I was actually taught to look people in the eye, right? To nod a little bit like this, to repeat back to them what they said to me, okay? And the idea was they were teaching me to make sure you're giving a message that you're paying attention, all right? But truly, that's a lot of crap. Really, it is. If, in fact, you were paying attention in the first place, why do you need to bother to learn how to do it? Think about that, all right? If your focus is on your prospect or your client or your partner, whatever it is, you don't need to learn how to pay attention to them. Just give them the center of your focus and give them your attention. If you want to put it another way, this is a bit of a, well, I'm going to misquote Buddha, okay, but to get the message across to you. And he said, paraphrasing wise, if your mouth is open, then you can't be listening. All right? Think about that. Tip number 2, be interested, not interesting. Okay? To help you understand this, I want to share a very quick story with you about Nelson Mandela. But in fact, really, it's Nelson Mandela's father. You see, one day, Nelson Mandela was asked, tell me, how did you become such a wonderful leader? Because as you know, he was recognized right across the world as one of the best leaders people have ever seen. And so they asked him, how did you become a really good leader? And he said, because I was taught by my father how to communicate. And they asked him, tell us more. And what he said was this. When he was young, Nelson Mandela's father was a tribal chief, right? And he used to go with his dad to these tribal meetings. And the 2 things he noticed was this. First of all, every meeting was in a circle, right? And second, his father, Nelson Mandela's father, was always the very last person to speak. Okay? Think about this. What message he was giving to his son and to everybody else was this. By not speaking up first, you are allowing everybody else to share what they want to say and to feel that someone's listening to them. Secondly, by not speaking up first, you get the advantage of listening to what everyone else has to think about anyway, right? Very clever. So be interested, not interesting. Don't try and put your stuff out there. Get people to talk to you first. Thirdly, show appreciation and respect. You can do this by, for example, using people's names, right? But here's another thing to think about. Assume that you go into every conversation that you have with a thinking and a mindset that there's something you can learn, right? There's something you can learn. If you have that mindset, you will show appreciation and you will show respect for the person you're speaking with. Next one, number 4, be careful with your tone, right? Be careful with your tone of your voice. I'll put it in a simple way for you. There's a very, very, very fine line between being assertive and aggressive, right? Assertive is fine. You're showing leadership and people need leadership. Aggressive, you're being salesy, all right? Be careful. And your tone will give that away. Be careful with that. Okay, let me continue. We're up to number 4, right? Careful with your tone. Number 5, body language. I'll be brief here. You can go on for hours on. I'll be brief here. Body language. This is the thing you've got to remember, that you are consistently communicating, even if you're not saying a darn word, right? You are consistently communicating, even if you're not saying a word. And remember, Non-verbal communication represents about 90+% of any communication. And what I'm referring to is this. It doesn't matter what words you're saying, but if your body's given the opposite, and for example, if you're folding your arms like this, then you're becoming defensive. If you're looking around, then you're not paying attention, etc., right? So be aware of your body language. And the only way to have your body, because the body language doesn't lie, right? I mean, you might lie, but your body language is not going to lie. And the way to make sure your body language is in line with what you want is to have your mindset right. In other words, to be there, showing appreciation, showing respect, and being prepared to learn something, as I mentioned to you before. Right? Number 6, be brief, but be specific. I mentioned earlier, kill, right? About being too long and too lengthy. My key point is this: be brief, but make sure you're specific. And I was told this many years ago, and I've forgotten who told me this, but this is basically what it was. An effective conversation is like a mini skirt. We're talking brief but specific, right? An effective communication is like a mini skirt. It's short enough to retain people's attention, but it's long enough to cover the essentials. There you go. That's my thoughts about communication. And that's how you can have communication and not complicate people. That's the key point, all right? Here's my call to action for you today. And if you feel that somebody can get value out of this, please share the darn video. I mean, I am so proud to actually get the darn thing working after what happened yesterday, right? My call to action is this: if you're interested, message me, because when it comes to communication, this is a fascination of mine. It really is. And I have a simple PDF, but it's powerful. And it's called Communicating with Compassion. If that's of interest to you, send me a message asking for it. And thanks for the wonderful comments. I'll respond to all of them. All righty. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some value out of it. And please share the darn thing if you think someone could get some value of it. Okay? See you later. Best wishes from Thailand. Thanks again for sharing with me. Bye for now.